I want to go to Senator Roger Marshall, the Kansas Republican. He's a physician by training, sits on the Senate Small Business Committee, so many other Senate Energy as well. Senator, it's always good having you. And I wanted to relay an item that shows maybe some middle ground or acceptable ground, even among conservatives and those, Second Amendment advocates and the like, who are saying maybe if we tighten the restrictions around gun ownership. Libby Emmons uses that in today's New York Post, conservative writer, in which she says people under 21 are not allowed to buy cigarettes or alcohol, and there are already rules that prevent 18-year-olds from buying handguns in many states. So she's saying, what would be wrong with limiting these type of purchases, semi-automatic weapons and the rest, to the 21 and over crowd? What do you think of that?
Yeah. Well, Neil, like you, like many of your listeners, I'm still mourning with the people of Uvalde, Texas, and grieving with them. As a physician, if we had a bad outcome, we would try to listen and learn from the situation as well. So I think we need to be careful not to be yielding our political sabers right now. But what we can't do is to punish law-abiding citizens and take guns away from them. In rural Kansas, the sheriff's officer is often 30 minutes or longer away. So we do use them for our self-protection. But I am listening. I don't claim to have the answer. I'm proud of what we've done before when Republicans were leading. We worked hard to make our schools stronger, harder, safer. And I think there's more things we could do. I think that there's COVID dollars left out there from those grade schools and the middle schools, high schools, that they could use to make their schools even harder. We did a good job improving background checks as well. But I'm going to stand up and defend our Second Amendment.
Well, I agree with you that there are far, good and responsible gun owners in general, than there are those with mental issues and the like. But it's those with mental issues that somehow in the present background setup we have don't get discovered. I don't know why that is, Senator. You know far more on this subject than I do. But time and again, we see people who should have been fingered, who should have, their name should have come up, maybe with youth violations that never made a background report because we don't put them in such reports. But do you think therein lies the potential solution to get ahead of the possible dangerous types who could get their hands on weapons?
Right. So Neil, certainly we do have a mental health epidemic, and we're not going to fix that overnight. So therefore, how do we handle the situation? I know in Israel that they have technology that they're using to make their schools safer. And I'm going to speak to Senator Cornyn about that technology to pick up through social media channels these people that are having a mental breakdown, for lack of a better word, as well. But we do need to improve that process. These people do give signals as well. But again, we can't punish law-abiding citizens.
But you would be open to maybe looking at the wrong people getting their hands on weapons of all sorts?
I'm listening as well as I can right now. I know lots of Kansans are reaching out, and we're trying to find a good spot.
Got it. Sir, you got a good deal of attention not too long ago helping, someone who was at the border who was suffering from heat exhaustion. Could you tell us a little bit about that? And because you said it reminds us of some of the bigger issues here that go beyond just numbers.
Yeah, so I took a group of sheriff's officers from Kansas to the border. Kansas is now a border state. We have somebody die almost every day from fentanyl poisoning. We rode with some sheriff's officers, and they're the true heroes here. We did encounter a person that was being human trafficked and was able to rescue her. She was having heat exhaustion, almost heat stroke. She hadn't had water for 2 days, and really we gave her some simple first aid as well. But these problems that we're having in Texas now on the border, the Arizona border as well, are now impacting all of us. And just so proud of the officers there, the efforts that they're making. But this human crisis has been created by our president. He needs to go see this for himself. The very people he thinks he's helping, he's putting them in harm's way. Just the tragedy that they're going through down there is just horrific.
Senator, thank you very much. I'm sure that particular individual, to say others who took advantage of your kind care, appreciate that. Thank you again, and we'll